Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and today we are on day 222. Welcome to the channel. I am so happy that you're here today. We are going to be reading out of 1 Samuel chapters 7 and 8, Jeremiah chapter 36, 2Thessalonians chapter 2, and then we're going to close out our day with Psalm 117. So we are not breaking up any of these chapters today. We better just get on started into 1 Samuel chapter 7 and 8. Here we go. The men of Kiriath Jearim came and took Yahweh's ark and brought it into Abinadab's house on the hill and consecrated Eleazar his son to keep Yahweh's ark. From the day that the ark stayed in Kiriath Jearim, the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after Yahweh. Samuel spoke to all the house of Israel, saying, "If you are returning to Yahweh with all your heart, then put away the foreign gods and the Ashtaroth from among you, and direct your hearts to Yahweh, and serve him only, and he will deliver out of the hand of the Philistines." Then the children of Israel removed the Baals and the Ashtaroth and served Yahweh only. Samuel said, "Gather all Israel to Mizpah, and I will pray to Yahweh for you." They gathered together to Mizpah and drew water and poured it out before Yahweh and fasted on that day and said there, "We have sinned against Yahweh." Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpah. When the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together at Mizpah, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. When the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. The children of Israel said to Samuel, "Don't stop crying to Yahweh our God for us, that he will save us out of the hand of the Philistines." Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered it for a whole burnt offering to Yahweh. Samuel cried to Yahweh for Israel, and Yahweh answered him. As Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines came near to battle against Israel. But Yahweh thundered with a great thunder on that day on the Philistines and confused them, and they were struck down before Israel. The men of Israel went out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines and struck them until they came under Bethkar. Then Samuel took a stone and set it between Mizpah and Shen, and called its name Ebenezer, saying, "Yahweh helped us until now." So the Philistines were subdued, and they stopped coming within the border of Israel. Yahweh's hand was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. The cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel was restored to Israel, from Ekron even to Gath. And Israel recovered its borders out of the hand of the Philistines. There was peace between Israel and the Amorites. Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life. He went from year to year in a circuit to Bethel, Gilgal, and Mizpah, and he judged Israel in all those places. His return was to Ramah, for his house was there, and he judged Israel there. And he built an altar to Yahweh there. Chapter 8. When Samuel was old, he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second, Abijah. They were judges in Beersheba. His sons didn't walk in his ways, but turned away after dishonest gain, took bribes, and perverted justice. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel in Ramah. They said to him, "Behold, you are old, and your sons don't walk in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the other nations." But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, "Give us a king to judge us." Samuel prayed to Yahweh. Yahweh said to Samuel, "Listen to the voice of the people in all that they tell you. For they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me as the king over them. According to all the works which they have done since that day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even to this day, in that they have forsaken me and served other gods, so they also do to you. Now therefore, listen to their voice. However, you shall protest solemnly to them, and shall show them the way of the king who will reign over them. Samuel told all Yahweh's words to the people who asked him for a king. He said, "This will be the way of the king who shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them as his servants, for his chariots and to be his horsemen, and they will run before his chariots. He will appoint them to him for captains of thousands and captains of 50s, and he will assign some to plow his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and the instruments of his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers, to be cooks, and to be bakers. He will take your fields, your vineyards, and your olive groves, even your best, and give them to his servants. He will take 1/10 of your seed and of your vineyards, and give it to his officers and to his servants. He will take your male servants, your female servants, and your best young men, and your donkeys, and assign them to his own work. He will take 1/10 of your flocks, and you will be his servants. You will cry out in that day because of your king, whom you will have chosen for yourselves, and Yahweh will not answer you in that day." But the people refused to listen to the voice of Samuel, and they said, "No, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the other nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us, and fight our battles." Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of Yahweh. Yahweh said to Samuel, "Listen to their voice, and make them a king." Samuel said to the men of Israel, "Everyone go to your own city." Wow, wow, wow. There is so much there. As I'm reading, I am thinking very, just word by word by word, how things have evolved here in the United States, and how I personally feel, this is my own personal feeling, we don't have to have an uproar about it, but how we have searched for government leadership to set things right instead of following God and what he would have us do. And then at the very end, God says, "All right, give him a king." It's just, wow. Still, again, so current. I know I keep saying this was written so long ago, but it is the truth. These words were written so long ago. And we are still in the same hole, folks, worldwide. All right, so Jeremiah chapter 36. And, just before you get all judgy about what I just said, you know what? Forget it. Never mind. Let's move on. Jeremiah chapter 36. This is literally how I handle all political conversations. I start with just a minute, and then I'm like, oh, forget it. All right, Jeremiah chapter 36. In the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, "Take a scroll of a book and write in it all the words that I have spoken to you against Israel, against Judah, and against all the nations from the day I spoke to you, from the days of Josiah even to this day. It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I intend to do to them, that they may each return from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. Then Jeremiah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of Jeremiah all Yahweh's words, which he had spoken to him on a scroll of a book. Jeremiah commanded Baruch, saying, I am restricted. I can't go into Yahweh's house. Therefore you go, and read from the scroll which you have written from my mouth, Yahweh's words, in the ears of the people in Yahweh's house on the fast day. Also you shall read them in the ears of all Judah who come out of their cities. It may be that they will present their supplication before Yahweh, and will each return from his evil way. For Yahweh has pronounced great anger and wrath against his people. Baruch, the son of Neriah, did according to all that Jeremiah the prophet commanded him, reading in the book of Yahweh's words in Yahweh's house. Now in the 5th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, in the 9th month, all the people in Jerusalem and all the people who came from the cities of Judah to Jerusalem proclaimed a fast before Yahweh. Then Baruch read the words of Jeremiah from the book in Yahweh's house, in the room of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, the scribe, in the upper court at the entry of the new gate of Yahweh's house, in the ears of all the people. When Micaiah, the son of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, had heard out the book of all Yahweh's words, he went down into the king's house, into the scribe's room, and behold, all the princes were sitting there. Elishama, the scribe, Delaiah, the son of Shemaiah, Elnathan, the son of Akbor, Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, Zedekiah, the son of Hananiah, and all the princes. Then Micaiah declared to them all the words that he had heard, when Baruch read the book in the ears of the people. Therefore all the princes sent Jehudi, the son of Nethaniah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Cushai, to Baruch, saying, Take in your hand the scroll in which you have read in the ears of the people, and come. So Baruch, the son of Neriah, took the scroll in his hand and came to them. And they said to him, Sit down now and read it in our hearing. So Baruch read it in their hearing. Now when they had heard all the words, they turned in fear one toward another, and said to Baruch, We will surely tell the king of all these words. They asked Baruch, saying, Tell us now, how did you write all these words at his mouth? Then Baruch answered them, He dictated all these words to me with his mouth, and I wrote them with ink in this book. Then the princes said to Baruch, You and Jeremiah go hide. Don't let anyone know where you are. They went in to the king into the court, but they had laid up the scroll in the room of Elishama, the scribe. When they told all the words in the hearing of the king, Then they told all the words in the hearing of the king. So the king sent Jehudi to get the scroll, and he took it out of the room of Elishama the scribe. Jehudi read it in the hearing of the king, and in the hearing of all the princes who stood beside the king. Now the king was sitting in the winter house in the 9th month, and there was a fire in the brazier burning before him. When Jehudi had read 3 or 4 columns, the king cut it with a penknife and cast it into the fire that was in the brazier, until all the scroll was consumed in the fire that was in the brazier. The king and his servants, who heard all these words, were not afraid and didn't tear their garments. Moreover, Elnathan and Delaiah and Gemariah had made intercession to the king that he would not burn the scroll, but he would not listen to them. The king commanded Jeremiah, the king's son, and Seraiah, the son of Azrael, and Shelemiah, the son of Abdil, to arrest Baruch the scribe and Jeremiah the prophet, but Yahweh hid them. Then Yahweh's word came to Jeremiah after the king had burned the scroll, and the words which Baruch wrote at the mouth of Jeremiah, saying, Take again another scroll, and write it all former words that were in the first scroll, which Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, has burned. Concerning Jehoiakim, king of Judah, you shall say, Yahweh says, You have burned this scroll, saying, Why have you written therein, saying, The king of Babylon will certainly come and destroy this land, and will cause to cease from there man and animal? Therefore Yahweh says, concerning Jehoiakim, king of Judah, he will have no one to sit on David's throne. His dead body will be cast out in the day of the heat, and in the night to the frost. I will punish him, his offspring, and his servants for their iniquity. I will bring on them, on the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and on the men of Judah, all the evil that I have pronounced against them. But they didn't listen. Then Jeremiah took another scroll and gave it to Baruch the scribe, the son of Neriah, who wrote therein from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the book which Jehoiakim, king of Judah, had burned in the fire, and many similar words were added to them. And many similar words were added. So as if you weren't paying attention the first time and threw it in the fire, we're going to add a little bit more. All right, 2Thessalonians chapter 2. And this is Paul writing his letter. Now, brothers, concerning the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ and our gathering together to him, we ask you not to be quickly shaken in your mind or troubled, either by spirit or by word or by letter, as if from us, saying that the day of Christ has already come. Let no one deceive you in any way, for it will not be unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of destruction. He opposes and exalts himself against all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, setting himself up as God. Don't you remember that when I was still with you, I told you these things? Now you know what is restraining him, to the end that he may be revealed in his own season. For the mystery of lawlessness already works. Only there is one who restrains now, until he is taken out of the way. Then the lawlessness one will be revealed, whom the Lord will kill with the breath of his mouth, and destroy by the manifestation of his coming, even he whose coming is according to the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deception of wickedness for those who are being lost, because they didn't receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Because of this, God sends them a powerful delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be judged who didn't believe the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. But we are bound to always give thanks to God for you, brothers, loved by the Lord, because God chose you from the beginning for salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief in the truth, to which He called you through our good news, for the obtaining of the glory of our Lord Jesus Christ. So then, brothers, stand firm and hold the traditions which you were taught by us, whether by word or by letter. Now, our Lord Jesus Christ Himself and God our Father, who loved us and gave us eternal comfort and good hope through grace, comfort your hearts and establish you in every good work and word. I'm having a whole lot of revelation in this reading, and I'm really trying just to keep it to myself. I will say this, though. We are hearing a whole lot about good and evil. We're hearing things that are very familiar in current times. And I think this might be where the problem is because we have two Christianities. This is my belief. This is not anything I've been taught or read or anything like that. We have two different types of Christianity. We have one that is holding fast to Old Testament law, and we have another one that is holding fast to the New Covenant. And those two are going against each other. It's like a crosswind. And so no matter how you read this, one party could say, yeah, you Christians who are doing things wrong and not following law, yeah, you bet. And then we have the other side saying, yeah, you people who are constantly pushing the Old Testament law instead of love, love, love. And this is the problem. I think this is the problem that Paul is having in the church back then, is that there's so much discord and disagreement. And when that happens, I have to continually fall back on, if I am a follower of Jesus, if I'm a follower of Jesus, what did He say? What is the most important out of everything? Out of what God said, out of what Jesus taught, what is the most important? He said to love. So, closing out the day, Psalm 117. I have so much to say, but I am going to bite my tongue. I really want you guys to think about the words without my, influence, I suppose. Okay, Psalm 117. It's a whopping 2 verses. Here we go. Praise Yahweh, all you nations. Extol Him, all you peoples. For His loving kindness is great towards us. Yahweh's faithfulness endures forever. Praise Yahweh. What a great chapter. All right, folks. Thank you. Thank you for coming by today. I am a little bit hyper. It's been very odd not having Fred here with all his distractions and shenanigans. And so I am awfully chatty and very hyper, and I feel like the whole world is mine and I don't have to share it with a bird. So thank you for your patience. And I would really love to hear what you think about today's reading, no matter what side of the fence you're on. it is important for we as Christians to discuss amongst ourselves. And it says in, was it Matthew? To, test the different prophecies. Test them. And when I put some of the things that I read to the test, I have to fall back on what Jesus said is the most important. And that's to love. I may not agree with everything, but as a follower of Jesus, it is not up to me to condemn or judge what people are doing. It is up to me to love them. So, have a great day, everybody. Come on back for tomorrow, which is going to be day 223. I will see you then. Bye.